recording thing.
I'm recording.
There we go.
So 3 slides for the firm, just to introduce generally the firm. Now that's good. Now, how are we going to go about our journeys? Because I'm the baby just growing right now. So we start with that. We both, I guess we split it, you introduce your firm, I introduce my firm. Great. Then we introduce the subject of that road to framework for design excellence.
So sometimes it's good to have a sort of sense. I mean, I don't know if we need it for this length. Cara, what do you think? Just asking people what their experience is in the audience, or do we even have that possibility? I don't even know if we have that.
I mean, I think it's important to know, one, who knows about the framework, because that's, when we recap it, I just threw it in there for 12 as just a recap. If everybody kind of understands what it is, then you don't have to go down that road and explain it as much. You can talk about more personal journeys as opposed to relating it to how it happens within a day. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to know, who's in the audience and who's familiar with it, at least.
Yeah, you're right. This is not like a in-person one where we can feel the crowd as much, and the questions will be left for last. So I guess it would have been nice if we had like a Mentimeter, to ask some questions and see where everybody's, but I don't want to add logistical issues to the process.
Okay.
I don't think we can get that. So that's good. But then again, I can go in any order, Karen. So you tell me.
I think the what is it comes first, and then we can talk about our journeys. What do you think, Cara?
I think that it just setting the stage for it and then going down that road. And the point of what we're trying to do here is and I understand the title. And maybe I just need to hear you articulate I know what our journey was and how we came about it. I'd be curious just to in a few sentences, what is the journey that you're trying to encapsulate out of this? What is your journey that you're talking about here? I saw some of the slides, but from your own words, what are you trying to explain, or what are you trying to talk about here?
So me generally, our firm overall focuses on diversity in the field of architecture and design, and we've created a process that allows anyone from almost anywhere to be able to work into the field of architecture by making the work itself very didactical, right? Like you're learning as you go in and all of that stuff. So I stumble upon the framework and I figure out that we have to empower that generation of people from diverse backgrounds to understand that architecture is much more than this. So we decided to look into how the ingredients of the framework can cohesively and organically be added into our process. So our process, that's one of the first things. You have to have a process, this thing called Envision. And Envision is basically all the secret ingredients to what makes a successful design for us. So we added the framework into those ingredients. And prior to that, we realized that we couldn't just surprise our clients with this secret ingredient that they never heard of. So our contract has a section that says, literally, this project comes with the framework for design excellence. You can highlight any of these ones that you like, but if you don't highlight any, our principals will dictate which ones they believe fit better for you. And our design team immediately look at that section and say, oh, so they like integration, water, and well-being. We're going to look at those 3. Our office, we created a survey where everyone had to pick one of these ingredients or 2 of these ingredients that they really wanted to research personally. And they all filled out that survey, and we've created teams. So we have think tanks. So it doesn't matter who the designer in charge of the project will be, they will have to cross-pollinate with someone else on another, let's say for energy, right? Someone that's really, really cares about solar and energy plus buildings within the office. So then those ingredients come in. We then also created a survey and a file for all of our reps, sales reps. So those sales reps, and I guess I'm telling you the whole thing, but those sales reps will be feeding us with what best practices, materials and finishes and envelope, every aspect of the building. So those will feed the entire project. So this is kind of like our concept is, well, the framework for design excellence in orange, in this case, ties the owner, the authority having jurisdiction, the contractor, the architect, and the materials rep all together into the project. So it's like a cohesive thing that it's bleeding through the whole process all the way until the end. So I was going to talk about my house. This is my house right here. It was a single, well, it's a 3-family now, but it wasn't a 3-family when I got it. And I wanted to talk about how I had to kind of to walk the walk and talk the talk. I had to do it for myself, look, which is the story of my life. I have to do everything so that I can teach everything to everybody.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah. So I literally took out all the radiators before I knew what system I was going to install in the house. So I almost want to show a picture and be like, nope, no fossil fuel. I don't care. And I took all the radiators, and then winter comes and we're like, and the kids are like, but what are we doing? So we installed a heat pump system, and then we started learning about heat pump systems, which I didn't know about. So that was before it was mandatory. Now it's mandatory, but so it's that, so I talk about all of the design members and their superpowers and how each one of them has taken on the lead on some aspect of the framework. Team Molinga right here has taken on the lead of, like, we have a design director, and Team Molinga is like a tandem member of the design directors team. So he's implementing that and teaching everybody too. So we're doing trainings around the office on each one of the framework elements and how they apply, because it's a catchy phrase, design for discovery. What the heck that means, right? So we're turning it into actionable things. So that's the story that we're trying to tell through these slides. Like, it's not finished, but because I literally sketched it and I said, okay, listen, we need this, we need that, right? Like, and this in red is me, like, show the publication image used to show the world that we're applying for the framework. So we made it public too. We made it in social media, Instagram, everywhere, that we are applying the framework for design excellence from here on. So that way it's like, we can't back out anymore, And like the YouTube channel has become a place to train the public about this, so there becomes less friction with clients. So they know that this is what projects come with, just like a car comes with 4 tires and an engine. Like, this is what the projects come with, Okay. And that's generally it. I mean, that's basically.
I love it.
And the handbook has it, like, or handbook at Flow says, here we talk about like what our mission is. And then, well, if we care about diversity, the framework is all about biodiversity and ecosystems. So how we tie the mission of Flow with this in a very cohesive manner, so that's not like forced. It's not a forced marriage. It just looked like, wow, now we got names to these things that we were trying to do all the way along, right? So that's it.
So when did you so I heard some really great things, and I think my brain's starting to kind of piece some of it together. When did you start down this road? When did you first discover a framework?
There you go. I was saying it earlier.
2022.
It was 2022. Okay.
Yeah.
I got called to be a juror for the design awards.
But that was the juror part. Okay. So I heard the similarities that between the two companies is basically that both walking the walk. And I think that that's fantastic. And I think that's something that we can celebrate and kind of, as far as there's different ways and paths that you can go. And from how I understand it is that from Karen and Patrick and Architects, you had been practicing sustainability in all of the terms and methods and ways that have been coming along since 2010, following all of those lines and moving towards the framework for design excellence all the way along. And now we're really we recognize it, we know it, and now we're adapting it and incorporating that conversation into our projects as we start to move forward. And conversely, you jumped in at 2022 and said, we're all in, and now we're going to show the world how to do this.
Yeah.
Well, 2022, I heard about it.
Well, but yes. Yeah.
But that's about our time frame too, right, Carl? We were, I think, yeah.
But it was like this. It was this year that we really, really started using it. So it's funny to see how people are implementing it. So, like, because we didn't have clear guidelines for anybody, so everybody's looking at and it's fun to see the design at the step 3 of our process, which is when we actually really make design options and things like that. Like to see what people put together, we're like, oh, that's cool. Like right here, we're like, oh, that's cool. We didn't know about that. They look at weather, they look at air quality. They've been doing some really cool stuff, but we want to make it replicable. So we're trying to track it down and see what success stories come out.
So let me ask you, so I was a juror for New Hampshire recently, and they asked that all their award submittals have metrics based on the COTE, the COTE spreadsheet. So I went in yesterday and found all those pages, and it's extremely extensive. So I think there's a couple things, a couple ways to use this. One is to actually use the principles and find different ways to use the principle. And there's the sort of the deep dive where you're really going into all the scoring and all the metrics. And for some of the awards, and I don't know yet, across the country, if people are using this, the spreadsheet.
This is what we are using, by the way.
You are using the spreadsheet.
So this is I don't know what yours look like. Can you see that? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So I simplified it. So they literally say 2022 Design Awards, use a scale of 0 to 5, and each juror will fill out. I put just 3 projects. I deleted all the other ones. But literally integration, you give it a score. As you look at the submissions, you give it a score and you check, each one of them.
These are not, but those are not metrics.
No. But they,
okay.
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how the submissions look like. I'm just telling you how we were looking at it, right?
Interesting. Because did you see the one that I put in from yesterday? The ones from the COTE Design Awards are like, they're looking for EUI for, actually, can you just look over there, those last.
It will be here, right?
Yeah, after that, right
this
there.
One. Yep.
So if you zoom in on
actually, I think you have it here. You have it here too. Okay, my bad. It could be any of these, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but look at how specific they're getting. Right?
Yeah. No, I like it.
Insanely specific. And so I think one of the discussion points is that you can go into sort of micro detail with some of these, and some places are asking for, they want you to submit data on, 3 of these principles for each of your projects. So it's kind of interesting how it's not something that's widely required everywhere. And people are and so different states are doing different things as far as their awards thing. So it's also a discussion about, what is the importance of this? Is it only for awards? Is it a guiding principle? Is it for when you do have that project where you can do a deep dive?
Pretty cool, because they did assign a series of questions.
Oh, that one did. Okay, no, you do have it there.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. So someone
formatted a different way.
Yeah, exactly. But it's each one of them. That's how we would come up with our score. So like the score here for the 10 came from the project info, and each project info had to submit all of these answers.
They did do all that.
Now I deleted a lot of the project. Yeah, I deleted. I only kept these 3 because I was like, and this one's actually where I work winner. So I just deleted a lot of the other ones because I was like, let me see what they work. And this one I worked on, actually. I disclosed it because I couldn't vote on it, but this is a net zero home. So he did win. But they had to answer all of this. So it wasn't just saying we did this. It's like, well, really, let's look at the numbers and see.
Look at the numbers.
There were projects, the Quarry House, we gave a citation. Beautiful. Didn't achieve, sorry for the word, shit. Didn't achieve anything on the framework and quote 10, like nothing, So we were like, we can't really give an award to that. We gave a citation because the design was really nice.
Okay, so we're there's a lot to talk about here. Like, really kind of have to help us focus, Cora.
Yeah. So all right. So we're gonna step back and we're gonna have, usually like most presentations have those like 3 maybe 5 kinds of, 3 is usually
Main
kind of
points.
the main points. And so I think I hear there being, those firm intros and introducing what that looks like, introducing what the framework design is.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that one slide is enough, number 9, if that's enough.
No,
for
I
us
think if
to
you're
talk-
introducing what it is, I think you actually go into those, each of the 10, even
Okay,
if it's just to kind of flash it, like,
So like the
I
slide.
Thirty
like
seconds
this.
each.
I really like this one right
Those are
here.
okay? All right,
Yeah,
yep, we can
yeah.
transfer them back in, absolutely.
because again, that's something that's fairly quick, but it really gives you an idea, right? And some of them did translate weirdly, but yeah, a lot of them did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't,
anyway.
I think it's the program, it's not because it's not
Okay.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's not that. Like if I
Okay,
downloaded
just because
it.
of there. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
gotcha. No
So
worries.
that's it. I think like introducing the framework and even I guess some, I don't know if we want to just
I
start
don't
with the
know.
logos or, but
Yeah.
I
All right,
do
so
like.
I can get these, all 10 of them, just a high overview of what they are and all of
Yeah.
those.
That's
And then
just good.
does it just make sense to give those journeys as to how you each got there? So that's one each. And then put the metrics on the back end of it at the end saying, and these are ways of how, to measure this, and you can do it. And then you can talk about where, it is, whether it's awards or, and you can go, perhaps Karen, you're going down the awards road saying, I've been involved in a number of different places. They're
Mhm.
requiring it and all of these things. And Darwin, when you're talking about it, you've taken awards off the table and it's just a matter of principle on each design, right? And so you're going through the same metrics and using it in an every project, way. And so
Mhm.
that might be, that last one might be a way where the two of you can, so you each have your individual talking points throughout the entire thing. You take 5 as far as explaining what they are, and then you do your individual journeys, and then you reconvene, and at the end you go back and forth with the metrics and how you're working with the metrics. And this is the example for coats, and then this is an example of your spreadsheet that was devised essentially from those same kinds of questions and things to be able to score it and use it specifically on those projects. Does this feel like
This is perfect. This is
enough
perfect.
of a cohesive?
So,
And then,
so,
like I said,
so
I think
block,
it hits everything that was in the 5, things.
so blocking it, intro, firms, right? Boom.
Yep, intro,
Framework.
first, framework, and then journeys would be 3, and then metrics and measuring, whether it be for projects or awards, is number 4.
So the meat though of Darwin and I speaking are kind of in number 3, right? Like
Correct.
of
Your
our
individual
journeys.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Um,
And so Karen, you and I need to build out what we want to highlight within that.
With our journey, yeah.
With our journey, but I think all of the information is there. It's just a matter of what we want to pull out and be
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But everything else is kind of there. And then we can show the metrics, I think the way that they sit, and just, whether it's even like the big one, because it's not translating so big, I can do a screenshot of one specific one where you can actually, it's a bigger, blow up on that same thing that you can see that it's asking for the square footage and the this and the that, and really breaking it down by each within some of those slides to make it a little clearer as they pop up.
Okay.
And
again,
then
the point is,
otherwise-
and I think with some of these things, we might spend a little bit more time on the first 2, but then we kind of say, well, these others are all similar, but they have different types of things that you're getting into. Right? We're not going to spend,
to move it along.
yeah, we're not going to
yeah.
spend 2 minutes on each, even 1 minute on each of those 10 slides, because that by itself takes up way too much time.
And there is some repetitiveness in that, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of explain the first couple in more detail, and then you go more quickly with the other ones, for instance. Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm already blocking myself. So this right here, Mr. Junior Rosario, is our packet right here, whatever that thing is. We got to work on that. So that's our journey right here.
Yeah.
And
And then we're
then-
going to flesh out our, between 9 and 12, we're going to flesh ours out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then I want to hear your journey first.
Yeah.
And then we'll have my journey after.
Oh, okay.
So-
Now, just how many slides ish, just so that, because it's always nice when there's like a similar cadence.
Yes.
How many
let
slides do
me-
you have just in your journey?
So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11,
Good.
but
Okay.
these
So we'll
are
do-
empty. Like we have to still work on
That's okay.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, us too, but I think it's
So
good. That way
We're
we would
shooting
have
for
about
about
that.
10 each, you know, and if it's
Yeah.
10 or 13, or if it's, you know,
9,
9,
yeah,
All right.
but
10
we'll kind of aim for like
10-ish,
10-ish
10-ish
each.
each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. And then maybe Cara, if our building is not in the intro, we could start with our building in ours. But anyway, let's let's get into
I
that
like
later.
it. 10 is perfect. 10, I think we can make
Let's
that
do
work.
that.
Yeah, we can make that
Yeah.
work.
And then it looks like maybe each of the sections will end up with roughly 10 maybe, or if they don't, then they,
Now
Close
then,
to
this one, like, are we gonna show all of that?
yeah, that's a good point. We don't necessarily need to show all of them, because there are 10. But we might just highlight, like what you're saying, Carl, like you just highlight a little piece of it just
Yeah.
to say, for instance, this on this one, for instance, this on this one.
Exactly. So
just 'cause
you know,
they're-
what the nuances are per each one, right? So there's a little,
Yeah,
it could be, you know, that you're looking at the, you know, what was the operating method or the cleaning, you know, what went into the cleaning, and there was, I remember seeing, you know, a small snippet on that. So just for flavor, and when we review
I
it,
think
when we
flavor
go
is
through it,
exactly the right word.
we
Yeah.
can, you know, we can pull stuff out too. We
Okay.
absolutely, if there's if it ends up being, you know, quite repetitive, we can, you know, focus on a few of them and call it good too.
Okay.
As far as the metric side goes.
Because you're right, Darwin, we don't want to spend even, you know, we don't even need 30 seconds for each of those. I think but the end, it's like more like 5 seconds each
Right.
for those metrics. It's the end of our presentation. Yeah.
And so as far as formatting and is this your particular format, what you sent here? Do we have a format that we need to follow for AIA New Jersey? Do we have any logos that we need to incorporate in this? Does it have to be in the Google Drive? Is PowerPoint a possibility? How do you guys work otherwise?
So we were using the Google Slides just because AIA generally has been using Google for a lot of these things. So we've
Okay.
been using that. These slides were made up by us. We use some previous AIA presentations in New Jersey I had done and like as a base, because I have like 2 presentations in New Jersey that I had done for AIA in New Jersey. So we kind of grabbed that and we changed the colors around. I think that's all we did. Junior, because you've been working on this. I think overall this is good.
What are the numbers?
These
in
numbers?
response to- Yeah, those numbers.
I have no idea.
It was just a step by step, but I mean that's just to say, I was just putting down the idea, but it's all to be like fixed and to get cohesive. I mean, we can change that around. I mean, we can.
It
even
was
take
it was
down.
just to give it order, right? Like
Right,
you were
right,
trying to
right,
create
right,
this.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Just to have an idea of the follow-up, but it all changed with what we just talked about right now.
Right.
So
yeah.
are they section numbers though? Or they're page numbers? They're section numbers?
It would be
Section
it would be
numbers, I mean.
nice to divide it into the 3 sections that
Four.
we talked about,
4
4
sections,
sections that we talked about.
Four.
So it would be nice that, you know, block 1 right here is our intros, and we already know that, right? And then this
Right,
one,
yeah.
what's the framework, is 2, great. You know, like it's good for us also mentally to remember where we're at. I don't know.
So, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So I'm just trying, so Junior, is this your baby? Like you want to take the lead on making sure?
No, I'm not as it is right now. I mean, I'm joining forces with you guys. So whatever we decide right now, we can change it. We can set it up for right now. I think dividing it by sections, as Darwin just mentioned, we can do that. I mean, we have the first section for the intro of the firms. We have the second one to talk about the framework of our design excellence. And then the third, we will be talking about the journeys for each firm. And then we have a 4th section, which will be the metrics and all that.
So yeah, let's use. I know you even use some colors, and they look good. I don't know where you got them from. So let's divide each one of them like that. I think that's not a bad idea. Kara, what do you think?
Totally fine with all of it. who's going to own this document to make sure that it's all pulled together and ready to go is what I'm saying. So if you're used to doing presentations with it, then I would be feeding you slides, or we're just working in the same thing and you're going to make sure that
You can
all of
fit
the
in,
sections are cohesive and correct.
Yeah,
right?
just
I mean, you
just
can,
so you
can fit it.
know, if you okay, go ahead, Junior. Because I was saying that like you can literally grab whatever, like this one, for instance, that you have right here, and you can turn it into Google Slides. It's not foreign to Google Slides. Like if you go here and say new,
They're
you
compatible.
can literally come here and say import, and you can import a slide from a PowerPoint presentation, and it will come in just like perfect, like the same way. Let me see if
Okay.
I can drag it.
But
So
I'm just, I think what Car's asking is that, yes, we can work on this. I know that we're going to be working on
No, I was gonna
section
answer.
3. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna answer. She can just fill in with the information that she wants to put, and I will make sure that everything will look cohesive at the end. You know, because I have to add the logos and all that stuff. But I mean, yes, I mean, as we're dividing it by
That's weird.
section, and everyone will have their own slides, so
Yeah.
she will I mean, I think that's what she was asking for. I mean, she just like need to fill in with the information that you're gonna put in, and I'm gonna make sure that it all looks cohesive.
And we all look at it at the same time together. Make sure that
Right.
we're all happy with it. But yeah, but you see how it brought it in? It brought it in weird, but there's some things that will work, like that, you know, it brings it as blocks. So it's easy to copy and paste from one place to the other, if anything, you know.
Yeah.
Right,
So
so I didn't want to import these slides I mean, we can, the background and making them cohesive and having the same format for all of them is what I guess so if you're gonna own it and you wanna have those templates to be able to work within,
Yep.
are you gonna shift and change it all so that it works in your template? I can give you the slides that we have in my background, like in, you know, in our, you know.
I get it. I get it. That's a decision that we can all make right now. I mean, which
executive decision, Cara
Yeah.
and Karen, make sure that you have the slides that you have as perfect as possible, and Junior will bring them right in. So just send us a PowerPoint of your slides exactly as you want them, and then we'll discuss how it looks, the translation of those slides in here.
Yeah.
That will probably be the best.
Okay. So can we even, so the section 2, is that already ready? Pretty much?
Section 2, we have to bring each one of them. Remember how we mentioned that we were going to do a slide for each, and maybe you talk about 5 and I talk about 5. So do we want to bring these ones as they are? I mean, we have to clean them, but do we want to bring these ones?
The information is exactly how it is. So if you guys are going to format it to make it look cohesive, then just bring them in and drop them in and make them look at however you want to.
Yeah, 'cause I
Perfect.
think the content is good. I think the content is very good, and then you
I
can
agree.
just,
The content's
Let's
totally
just-
fine. It's
let's
just a
not-
matter of,
let's not reinvent
what?
the wheel. Yeah, if you could
Mhm.
just
So-
fix them so they look good there.
So
it'd be
you do
awesome.
your magic, but look, it's as simple as a copy and paste, but you do your magic, Mr. Rosario.
So I think those are ready. So can we just say that the section 2 is pretty much ready?
Yep, it
Section
is.
2 is ready.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I agree
Okay,
with
it's
that.
ready for it to take in. And so then we do have to work jointly on section 1 to make sure that we're saying roughly the same type of information.
So we need 3 slides for each on section 1, right? So I'm
Correct.
duplicating these slides real quick for you.
Oh, except we're not going to do that bio at all, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's needed.
No.
So I'm just gonna. Oh, there were 2 photos there.
Weird.
But we could probably. I don't know. I can bring these guys as a
I think
placeholder.
those 3 are perfectly fine if those are the 3 that we can work with, Karen.
Yeah, they're just funky that the text is a little funky, but
If
That
you
will
can-
get fixed.
If you can share the
Yeah.
original one, so I can have a basis of what.
No, she
you-
shared the original one in an email,
All right, perfect.
Junior. So we'll work on these, but I'm just saying there are 3. So we got to bring that, and we got to bring these. But Junior, you have to make it look good. I'm just dropping it because I don't want to see her face 3 times, and I love her though. She's awesome. But I just wanna. Okay, so that, and then we have to work on ours. But this is perfect as it is. If we could bring it right in. So Junior, you have to work on ours. I'll tell you, well, maybe you use one of the public work submissions that we've done. So the goal was to fill out the whole sheet. So I'm gonna group them, and I think I can do shift and drag, and it will
Yep.
work.
Yep.
Boom, something like that. But we'll clean it, of
Nice.
course. We have to all look badass. So that's that idea. And then
Perfect.
we move into this, we know what we're doing. And
So
our
really the number 3 is where we have to do our individual work.
Mhm. And I've
And-
divided it into like Flo's journey and like
Yep.
You
your
can put
journey.
Patrick Quinn's journey, yeah, there.
Or Patrick and Architect's journey. I don't know, whatever. Whatever it is.
I have to fix that. uh, we'll fix that. Tell us how you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, working live, right? It's like trying to make magic happen. It's
There
like
we go.
that. No, I don't think so. It will be
You
like
just take out just the apostrophe, I think there.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
at
like
the end.
that. Yeah.
Like
mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So that's good. Close. I like Flo.
Yeah, yours is easier to.
Okay, so this one you have to fill out.
So
Yeah,
we'll
so
have
that, so
about 10
that,
slides.
what you
for
see
that.
there as 2 is going to be 10. Yeah.
Yep. So this has to be 10.
And yeah, so we will
know
be
what I'm-
sending you new slides for that.
So you know what I'm gonna do? Do this, beat that, and we're gonna have 10 spaces so that we get a sense for how many we're gonna end up with. One, 2, 3, 7. Okay, so that should be 10. So that's that, and then we're gonna have 10, which we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we'll delete one of these ones because this should be the last one. So yeah. So Mr. Junior, we gotta consolidate one, okay? And then from here, I like something Junior has been doing on this thing, right? Was it here? Like that, like showing all the pieces like this.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
kind of cool.
nice.
So maybe there's a way of somehow showing these things in
Yeah,
a way that
a
would.
little blow up of something that's interesting. So that's not just really.
This thing is overwhelming.
It is, yeah.
The
So
metric.
I think if you maybe you grade that out and you blow up something of it, just to give a sense. Okay, like this one here, because it's ecology, it's looking at, and then you just have an area that shows whatever one of them. Yeah.
So
Well-
understanding those, if you could just look at one really quick. So you're saying for ecology, if you go to the next one, so if you were to blow that up, what in here,
That's
designing for
community.
community, what is it? Community engagement. So if you were to blow up percentage of occupants commuting by alternative transportation, when you're looking at community, that block is something that is very specific to this one, and blowing up that small little block, it doesn't matter what's on the left or the right. It's
Right.
saying
Yeah.
these are the kinds of criteria. So if we were to do a quick clip for each of them saying, okay, community, I mean, we're talking about things like, alternative transportations. And when you go to ecology, we're talking about, how many wetlands
Native-
by
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever those are. So whatever that small little specific box for each of them, we call that out, lay it on top of each other, understanding that I think that could run quickly through.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. It will be the same idea, Junior, as what we were doing with this thing.
Yeah, exactly. So the background will be that really obnoxious spreadsheet, and then you highlight something of interest. Yeah.
I like that. All right. So we'll work on that.
So you're gonna work on that then. Junior's got that kind of, he can. play
Junior,
with
you
that.
understood what we're talking about?
Yeah,
I understood totally, but the thing is that there are a lot of information there, and they will have to send me like a step by step, which
You could even just
Items.
choose, you could just like literally choose the
whatever's
very
on
first
that
one,
page.
the very first one even. Just say, the green roof, reasonable range percentage. The one that we were just looking at.
So what you're saying is, Junior,
So move over to the right a little bit. So here we're looking at,
So if
So
you
for this one, it's a walk-
screenshot and put a border, a screenshot, number 1, walk score, or screenshot percentage of occupants commuting by alternative transportation in that green whole box with the yellow and if you do blow that up, like there, yeah. So you have the sheet behind it, and then you just have a box, that box.
No, I got that
supersede
clear.
over.
I got that clear. It's just that to get to know exactly which point you wanna like blow up. I
You
mean,
could
So-
literally
so
take the very
little-
first
yeah,
one of
all right,
each,
perfect.
like whatever you want, I think, right? You
Yeah,
want to say that?
honestly, Junior, I guess use some creative artistry here because it depends on how you're gonna do it. Or any of these blocks are good. That's what we're trying to say right now. Take note of that. So you could literally grab any of them and blow it up right here. And maybe you even do like like the dialogue boxes. Maybe like you guys know what I mean, like the dialogue blow
Like a
up
little
piece.
blew up,
Yeah,
like
and that's it.
on
You
a
can just
cartoon.
literally show exactly. I wouldn't mind that, and then the whole thing gets blurred, and you just show, hey, this is a way that you can implement this. So we're gonna do one for each because they're 10. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but we're
I
gonna
don't
have
really,
10
I don't really,
slides.
yeah, I
and
don't really
then
understand that one, but anyway. That's a weird one to me.
And if so, how about
I
this?
don't
So-
like how they show it back like down, like, oh, so discovery is not important. Like, I don't know, it's like,
So, but if we get the rest of it pulled together,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a look at this, what's your time frame for deliverable? Let's look at it again. If we have some suggestions or if there's anything that's out of the ordinary, like we'll have them take a pass at it. Let's get it all in there. We've got till Thursday. We've still got to rehearse. So, yeah, take creative liberties, get all of the sections in where it looks like it can be. And if there's anything questionable, put a big question mark on it and we'll come back together and kind of look at it. Or, share it around and say, what do we think?
one
Is that
last
possible?
question, although we're on time. What do we end with? What's maybe a final word from Karen and final word from Darwin and then questions?
Yeah, and I think because we're ending up with this really dense piece, I think we have to have a little sort of look back again, just to say that this is a very comprehensive, it's not even a certification, right? A comprehensive framework, and that they're very, very different ways of working with this, right?
So
Like
do you
what's-
repeat the front slide with the name and the title of it to bring it all back together and then talk on that?
Oh, just our journey? Yeah.
I'm just putting some thoughts there
Yep.
because it's overwhelming stuff, but we've tried to make it digestible for everybody.
Yeah.
So you and I want to end up with the same video question. So how are you going to use the framework? Remember in the video, so now it's your turn to use the framework.
Yeah.
But I think we end up with the title. I'm just putting those notes.
Who's writing this? Is this Darwin?
I'm writing just for notes. Yeah. Just for general notes. But
Yep.
But I also think that it would be nice to end with Karen, like what's even next for you, what's next for me, what we're hoping to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
more of a reflection, because I do this presentation not so much, yes, for the public because they're the heroes of the show, but at the end of the day, it's for ourselves because we never get to thoroughly think about this stuff. It's like, wow, I'm learning a lot from you. I'm learning a lot from this whole thing.
And
I cannot wait to hear your story. Like, although I heard a portion of it at the AA conference, but maybe there's a.
I like that idea of what's next steps. And Karen, I think for us, could it perhaps be how we are trying to tackle the cafe?
Yeah, it's one way. But I think the another lesson though is that not all projects will be able to answer everything. So it's really kind of, and it can get very overwhelming. So choosing the projects where you can use this as a very broad guideline, and choose the projects where you're going to do the deep dive.
Now, current question, are you trying to use it in all of your projects, all of them, or are you trying to use a version of them? How are you doing that?
Well, that's exactly what that's what I'm saying. It's not all of them that are going to, we're not going to be able to spend, hours and hours and hours on every single project, right? So similar, like, how, which projects are in your website portfolio, right? There's some that are going to end up there, some that are not. So there's some where you use this as a sort of broad picture guidelines, and other ones where you will be able to delve in.
Yeah, because on our contract, this with pre-selected involved the ones our architectural staff believes to be appropriate. So we've highlighted them
Yeah.
like on our contract. So
That's really interesting that you
yeah, we also have a fee, but we can't talk about fees, but we do have on our contract an embedded framework for design excellence research fee. So we you know, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, whatever it is, whether we believe it's gonna be. And if they cry or whatever, we take it off. Often they don't. So they're like, oh, that's cool. I care about the environment. So and we do it. But I also sell it like, hey, listen, you can save a whole lot of money on energy because here's how I did it, right? Like here's how I did it. So I always talk about my house. Like I don't pay anything for electricity. So which is awesome. So but that's how I've never applied
really like
I had never applied all of them to any project.
Okay, well, I think even that's a really important subject, and maybe part of this last slide, some of these last
So if we were to
talking
really
points.
do better and transition and go to 5 and say what's next, or just to get off of this dense one that you're talking about instead of just the end, does that make sense? That, and we can throw some, you know, inspirational pictures, or the pictures back to the house, back to the, you know, selling, back to, you know, whatever the meats, and wrap up this presentation. What's the most important that folks need to come away from what we just told them? I think that would be helpful, and I do think a section 5 in that respect. Okay, what's next, or how do you move forward with this? It could help lessen the one before it.
Could we just move the title here again? Can we just copy here just so we can remember?
What do you mean?
The title of the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Well, it will be this one, right? Well, this one.
There it is.
Huh.
Oh, I see.
You just put it in here so we remember.
Just so we remember. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Junior, make sure that each section has a color like you've been doing. I like that. And then I think we're good.
Great design. I love it. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice. Yeah.
I can't believe he did it. Just kidding, Junior. Just kidding.
Okay, so we're going over. So next
Yep.
step is when can we have this PowerPoint in a good place, and when are we going to run through it? So probably need tomorrow to make some of these edits, changes, and journeys and paths. Yeah. So can we reconvene on Wednesday and also have run-throughs on Wednesday, or is that too late? Do we need to try and figure something out sooner?
I think Wednesdays. I think Junior.
No, I
Go
would
ahead.
like to have another meeting with Karen is the name.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, so we can I can settle some ideas, because I don't want to delay like doing the right changes. So
Okay.
maybe tomorrow, like around this time, we can look at it and maybe decide at that moment if we're taking the wrong path or the right one, so we don't delay this.
So what you're saying is you want to show as polished and clear idea of what you believe within the time you have from now to tomorrow, so that you know.
Not as polished, but an
But
idea
you know
of
your
what
best
what it's
grasp.
taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
think one other meeting would be good. So whether that's with me or with Cara or
Yeah,
all of
because
us.
right now at this moment, I have some doubt of what the metrics section is gonna look like. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna do like a first
Just try
approach
it. Yeah,
to that,
exactly.
and I don't want to delay that conversation too much, because
Sure.
if something needs to be fixed,
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow is the right time to get to know what aspect of it.
Yeah.
Junior, why don't you and I get together tomorrow and let's
Yep.
go through that? Because I think I have an understanding of what Karen was thinking. And we can just play with it for maybe 30 minutes and kind of, we can work on screens together.
Well, I mix the names. I was preferring to talk to you
me.
tomorrow.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's Karen. So yeah, it was
Very
with you.
similar. That's okay.
Perfect.
Thank
No
you
worries.
for stepping in.
No
Yeah,
worries.
yeah.
Perfect. All right,
No worries.
so
So I'm
So
sending
what
an
time are we
invite
putting on the calendar?
for 2 o'clock tomorrow. Does that work? I'm sending an invite. Karen and me, we don't have to necessarily be, but I may jump in and see and then get out because I have a couple meetings. But so
Yeah.
I'll send an invite. Does 2 o'clock work, Kara?
I have a meeting from 1:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
Is the morning possible?
I think we can do it in the morning. It
No,
will be
no, we
better.
cannot. We have the house doctor session, Junior.
What time?
This house doctor section is from 9 to 12.
I'm sorry, sir.
Oh.
I have to run off. I have a meeting I'm late for. Sorry.
Go, go, go. Good luck.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so Junior, how about, I can do, if you wanted to hop on at like 1, is 1 okay?
I think it's okay. I mean, because I really don't want to delay this this
12,
conversation.
12, I mean, I can, if you're done at noon, anytime after that, I just have the 1:30 to 2:30, so, and I think
Well,
it will only take us like 15 minutes, 30 minutes just to
It
kind
won't
of.
take that long. It won't take that long. It's just to settle down some ideas. So I think that's okay. 1:30 is okay.
No, I can't do 1:30.
Oh,
1:30
okay,
I
okay, okay.
can't do.
We can do it like right before
1 o'clock?
yeah,
12:30?
1 o'clock. Yeah.
All right. So I'll send an invite for 1 o'clock, or you can send it, Junior, but I'll set it up right now. Okay.
Set it up for 12:30. I mean,
12:30.
I think yeah.
12:30. All right. So a lot to work on. Thank you, Kara. Bye bye.
Thank you
We'll
for
talk.
everything.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.